Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, I'm just remembering some stuff. Our dad. Yeah, I miss him a lot. Hey, so what's with the new look? You heading out? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm still trying to figure out why I'm stuck here in this time. I think I might be able to counteract whatever's keeping me here, and this new look is supposed to help with that. I have a new pack here. It should be a lot more powerful than before. Oh. Okay. Hey, if you need anything, just let me know. Yeah. I know how much you miss him. Yeah. I'm you after all. Thanks. After all this time, I finally found you.
It's your father, Daniel. My name is Ego.
Dad? Hello, son. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. I've missed you too. And now, it's time to begin.
It's time. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was a really awesome movie. Now, I didn't get to see it with you at first.
Right.
But that's okay, because, you saw it anyways.
Yes.
So,
yes, I did.
Technically we both saw it.
Yep. So, spoiler alert.
Yeah. This is going to have spoilers in it, so... But you've all seen the movie by now. It's been out for about, what, a month? A month and a half?
Yeah.
So, it's okay with, if you've seen it or not. Your friends already told you about it. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was awesome. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of Marvel anyway. I think I think all of their stuff is awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was fantastic. Kurt Russell did an excellent job. Chris Pratt, as always, is A1.
And guys, you have no idea how big of a fan he is. You don't even know how big a fan I am, but I get it from him, just so you know.
Yes, I've actually met Joss Whedon on the set of The Avengers in New York when they were filming.
He's not kidding. He's not even kidding.
Kevin Feige, too. They're
Yes.
both awesome.
Yeah.
Love Joss. Love Kevin. Joss is amazing. He can do no wrong. Even though he's working with DC right now, he can still not do any wrong.
Yeah, you guys already know how I feel about DC. But, the way the movie starts off, it starts off basically with Peter Quill's father, and they're showing how he met his mother, but you don't know that until, the end of the scene. So, after the intro, how we see Peter's parents meet up, it transitions to basically the Guardians of the Galaxy are on this planet, and they're about to fight this. People thought it was gonna be like Shumagora and stuff, but no, it's the I forgot what the creature was called. It's a giant tentacle monster basically.
Yeah, and it eats like energy from like batteries.
Yeah, so that's the thing. They're there to like guard the batteries and stuff.
And the group that he was eating them from, what was the name of the group again?
They're the same race as Adam Warlock. If you guys
Yes.
don't know, in the comics, Adam Warlock was a huge character, especially in the Infinity Gauntlet series. He's the one who wielded the gauntlet besides Thanos.
Yeah, and they're all golden colored.
Yeah.
I love golden. And
if you couldn't tell,
yeah.
But basically, we'll get to him. That's far later in the film. But basically, the way the movie starts out with the whole shot panning around and everything, and it's like unfitting music for an intense action scene.
Yeah.
So it's perfect already. And a lot of people loved Baby Groot in the movie. Everyone around me when I was in the theater watching this, everyone was just going insane about it. So it was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were one or two major fight scenes. And the thing is, Drax really didn't do much fighting, but that's just to show you how much of a quality film this was. There was not really much action actually needed. It was so entertaining.
Yeah, it's funny. That's similar to it's kind of the opposite of the 2000 Fantastic Four film. There wasn't much fighting in it, but
it was not. That movie was a bomb.
Yeah, that one was bad. But this one has a lot going for it already, because later in the movie we get acquainted with Peter's father at this point.
Ego
the Living Planet. Now it's funny because in the comics, Peter's dad in the comics was
he wasn't an Eternal.
Yeah, no, he wasn't because
his father had a name too. I can't recall it at the moment. But they switched it with the movie because they made a deal with Fox in regards to Teenage Negasonic Warhead from Deadpool. So they kind of swapped some kind of power thing or something.
But basically, Ego is a giant planet with a face, but in reality, he's like a little brain that
No, he's a big brain.
Well, he's a big brain,
and he actually creates himself a body mimicking what a human being is.
Yeah.
And he the only thing is he can leave his actual planet body behind and go to Earth in his made-up human body, but he has to return in order to stay alive.
Yeah, so basically, so going back to the scene after the Guardians take out the creature, Drax was going crazy inside. He literally gets himself eaten on purpose because he thinks that if he stabs it a million times
from the inside,
but he doesn't realize that it's dents on both the inside and the outside. It's like a thick-skinned tentacle monster. So but it's funny though, and they beat the creature. So basically, they're talking to them, and Rocket, he takes one of the batteries, as they're leaving, because the conversation is not brief, but basically, these people are really entitled and stuff. So Rocket he kind of jabs a little joke at them, and they don't take it very well.
Right.
So, as they're leaving, he takes a battery, and he's like, well, I mean, they don't deserve it, stuff like that. So they leave, and they realize that they took it. So now they're hunting them down, and while it's going on, we go to see Yondu and what he's been doing lately. So after the last film, basically the Ravagers, they're not looking too fondly with Yondu because he failed to get the orb from the last film. So he meets up with the leader of the Ravagers.
So Yondu was exiled from the actual true Ravagers by Stacker Ogard, played by Stallone. So they have a meeting of the minds, which doesn't end well in favor of Yondu. So they part ways. And yeah, so it goes on from there.
So we go back to the Guardians, who are trying to escape the Sovereign
by High Priestess Aisha.
And and what's really funny about this scene is that you see how their military works. It's basically a giant arcade.
Yes, it's like an arcade game, like Pac-Man or something. It's
more like Space Invaders or something.
Yeah, exactly. They're like Space Invaders.
Yeah, so their ships are all automatic and stuff because they don't want to actually go in and fight themselves. Yeah, it's literally like that. There's a lot of there's some video game references here. Like people are gonna be thinking that they're pulling something out of Pixels or something, especially when we get to the ending. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyways, so the Guardians are doing pretty good dodging the ships and everything. But eventually, they're pretty much trapped at this point. Oh, and also I forgot to mention. So Nebula.
She was actually a captive of a sovereign,
Yeah.
Queen Aisha, who released her into the custody of the Guardians as payment for helping them retrieve their batteries and destroy that creature.
Yes.
Which unfortunately, the creature's name known as the Obelisk.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, due to what Rocket does in stealing the batteries, that's when the conflict comes in to play between the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Sovereign. So,
yeah.
When Nebula is released into the custody initially by the Sovereign, thinking that the Guardians had slain the creature and got their batteries back, well, the Guardians were on their way, and then the Sovereign discovered that Rocket had made off with their batteries.
Yeah, and they're not happy about that.
No,
they're pretty much gonna hunt them down. They're like the galaxy's most wanted right now.
Exactly. So now what you have is the Sovereign going after the Guardians of the Galaxy. But in the meantime, Nebula is now in custody of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And she's trying to, escape by asking, to let her go so she can help. But, none of them trust her for a second.
Exactly.
So they're just trying to survive this whole thing.
Exactly.
And eventually, that's when they're saved by someone, by some miraculous microscopic man that just saved us. Everyone was like, "Oh wait, Ant-Man's in the movie?" No.
But keep in mind that while being saved, they wind up bouncing around different dimensional.
Yeah. They start
stuff.
going through portals, and Rocket's like, "Oh yeah, we gotta be careful in this quadrant because we're where we are." Basically, it's like we're going through whole other dimensions and stuff.
And they're supposed to go like maybe 5 jumps at a time. They're going 750 or something at a time.
Yeah.
So they're getting physically distorted and morphed.
Yeah, this happens twice in the movie.
Yeah,
so.
Giant eyes, balls, and everything.
Yeah, it's like the movie just went anime for a while.
In the middle of this, you see Stan Lee hanging out with the Watchers.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
So there's 2 scenes of him with them.
Yeah.
In the middle of this part and in the end of the film.
Yeah. So what happens is that they're saved by Ego, and he comes out of his ship because he's in like a mini cruiser kind of ship. So he walks out, and then
meets Peter. To the tune of My Sweet Lord by George Harrison, no less, which is kind of cool.
And these are one of the few scenes, one of the many scenes. I got really emotional in this when I was first watching this film because all I was thinking about when Peter and his dad were just when they met and when they were spending time and stuff. It's like stuff that we didn't get to do, because
we kind of live apart. I'm on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, but I happen to be out here now, so
yeah,
it's a lot of
So this film is really it's really kind of personal for me, as well as him, and because it's kind of parallels us in a way.
But yeah, it was a great film. There's so much excitement in it.
Yeah. So basically, after that, uh, he introduces himself as Ego, the Living Planet, and he basically gives Peter and his friends the whole tour. Well, mostly Peter, because everyone else is just kind of floating around, just looking around and stuff. Drax has some of the funniest scenes in the movie too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
People thought that Groot was funny in the first film, but Drax kind of steals the show in this one. And they gave him a lot more personality, I think.
Yes, he doesn't hold anything back. He's like an Asperger's syndrome to the 10th degree. It's really funny how he does it. He just says what's on his mind. Exactly.
So he's like basically when we also meet Mantis.
Mantis.
Yes,
yeah.
we meet Mantis in the movie. Now, she's more of a recent member in the comics. Well, I'd say recent-ish.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, she's been there a few years, but the only difference is that in the comics she's green with a little antennae. But in this movie, she's
more tan or like.
Well, yeah,
pale.
she's human skin color pretty much. She's just pale.
I think they did that because they didn't
there's a lot of green people. There's Drax, Gamora, and probably some other, whatever. But yeah.
And we see her ability. She's an empath, so basically she can control people's feelings and emotions.
Yeah, not your thoughts, but feel. She can feel your emotions, and she has a somewhat a degree of control over you. Yeah,
she can make you fall asleep.
Yeah.
She could have you blurt out anything that's on your mind, and that's when we get the scene in the trailer. If you guys know, like when she's touching Peter's hand.
Yeah, she lets it out that Peter Quill has a sexual love for Gamora, and then Drax is like, "Do me!" So it's really kind of interesting.
Yeah, and so it's just such it's a roller coaster of everything at this point. After this, we get more acquainted with Ego and how his
the planet actually lives through him.
Yes.
Yes, it does. In fact, everything on the planet is there because of him, because he is in fact the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's a celestial. That's what he said. That's what he tells Peter, is that they're basically gods. In fact, literally gods.
Yeah, he said that he's a celestial and that Peter has certain powers that he was not aware of,
and that he was immortal, which was a pretty big bombshell right there.
Yeah, because he was aware that Peter was the human who was actually able to hold an Infinity Stone without dying.
Yeah, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because only Celestials or people of that power level could do something like that.
Yeah.
So, we slowly get to why he wants, Peter there. But while we're there, we get to see more scenes with Nebula and Gamora as they're kind of sort of bonding.
Yeah, they're sort of bonding, and they kind of make nice with each other a bit.
Yeah.
And
after trying to kill each other.
And they also discover that they have more in common than they thought.
Nebula felt that Gamora, because she always wins every fight they have, and Thanos, every time Nebula loses, Thanos will remove a body part from her, replace it with
something cybernetic.
Yeah, just so she could be more powerful.
Yeah.
But it would just be painful for her all the time.
Right.
So she always felt that less than nothing against her sister, and that she didn't even belong in this world. Given
Yeah, because her father was acting like a ding-a-ling, and he didn't care.
Yeah.
He's very egotistical. He's Thanos.
Yeah, he's the big bad of the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the comics, he's still one of the biggest villains there is.
Although I will say this, if Marvel ever gets the cinematic rights back to the Fantastic Four, we will have Galactus. Lord, let this happen.
Oh please, that would be insane.
Yes, it would.
I would love to see the Skrull Kree war ending with Galactus showing
Skrull
up.
War, yes. And it's funny because I have a strong feeling secretly that